I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but you need to be real with yourself and know that you might not actually be a good person. Or at least, not as good as you might think. This is going to be a bit of a rant slash advice video slash warning to not be this kind of person. Not that I think any of my lovely subscribers would do that. I have the best people on this earth subscribe to me. But anyways, take this video how you will, and if you have an evil person that you know, send this to them. But yeah, I had a conversation with a buddy of mine the other day while we were driving to a wedding, and we were looking back and, talking about people who are no longer in our lives that we had to cut out because, we essentially outgrew them, and also they are just objectively not good people to have in your life. I feel like as we get older and the more experience in life that we get, the wiser that we start to become. And not only does that change our idea of how the world should work, but also how we see ourselves in retrospect. Because, take your age now, whether you be 18 or if you're mid-20s, right? Take a moment to think of how you were when you were like in high school and see how far you've come from that. I've talked about this in a video months ago, like before I started this channel back up again, but I used this example of people who peaked in high school. People that, well, after they graduated, they're still a party animal, their satisfaction comes from drinking and hooking up. They're always in the center of drama because that's what excites them. They like being in the action. And it makes you think, like, if that's the mentality that they have and they still find fun in this child's play, I can only assume that they haven't experienced life in a meaningful way, that they haven't experienced hardship or any challenges that could have forced them to grow and mold themselves into a person better fit for where they should be in life. But yeah, I have a friend who got cheated on a while back, and this wasn't just like he caught her in the act the first instance that it happened. Like, no, they found out after being cheated on for over a month. So this girl was lying to my friend, playing him until he found out, and it's just insane. Like, how do you as the girl not feel so disgusted in your soul? Like, this wasn't a fragile relationship to begin with. This wasn't just some fling. It was supposed to be serious. So how do you not feel gross in your soul? Like, dude, I am actively hurting another person. Like, where's the remorse? Like, you're going to emotionally traumatize them once it comes to light, and you're thinking nothing of it? Like, you need to admit you're not a good person. You have to look into yourself and see your flaws and see how you live and really grasp that you need to make changes. But I don't know how people at their big old age don't recognize this. It's not like that situation happened when they were 17 or 18. Like, no, we are established in our 20s. And some people are still playing high school. And I don't know how that happens. Like, I remember for me, this epiphany came to me dead ass, like on a random weekday when I woke up. Like, I wake up and as I'm drifting off into space, I get into a bit of a deep thought, and I just think of what I've been up to lately. I remember some conversations that I've had. I thought about some things I've done with friends. And before, I would think of these things and laugh. But again, dead ass on a random like Tuesday, it just sunk in like, I've been a real dickhead lately. I've been such a shitty friend, like such a nuisance, like just so annoying. Like, I'm not a kid. Like, I don't know why I'm talking like that, why I would act like that. And I kid you not, I made the decision to just get my act together and just not be a dickhead kid anymore and act my age. I tried to clean up my image to people, and not just to serve others, not so that everyone can like me, like I don't care, but so that I can like me. Because it's embarrassing acting 5 years younger than you are. I cringe when I see strangers do that in public, so I can't imagine how people viewed me when I interacted with them like that. Now, these flaws don't just apply to only people who don't act their age. Just because you're 23 or 24, that doesn't mean you need to be all serious and quit partying and quit drinking. You can still very much do those things, just be responsible. And I hate to sound like a parent talking about being responsible, but this is real world stuff, man. Like, truthfully, you won't understand until you actually have to go through it. But again, this doesn't have to just be about you not acting your age. This can also just be how you treat people around you. If you're terrible to customer service workers, whether that be retail, food service, I don't care what the context of the situation is, you are not a good person. Have some empathy. Most of these people literally just clock in and do what they're told. If there's a policy that made you upset, that's a corporate issue. That's not a general employee issue you need to take it out on. Like, look, I get it. It's your life. Nobody else is living it but you. Like, I know. But this quote unquote like main character energy a lot of these insufferable people carry is just toxic, and they use it as an excuse for them to be awful to people that they think inconvenience them. But anyways, all of this to say, you are not perfect. You are flawed, and that's okay. I'm flawed too, believe me. I'm far from being a perfect person, but I at least try to be as good as I can. I know me personally, I come off as rude to people I don't know in group settings. Like, if I'm in a circle with friends, I'm talkative and such, but if there's someone I don't know well in the circle, I tend to ignore them. But I know if that were me, that stranger in the circle, I would be a little upset, like, I would think like, oh, who does this asshole think he is? You know, like I get it. I come off as a bit rude and closed off to strangers, but I try not to, you know, act like I'm a celebrity with people that I don't know. You know, like I'm trying my best to be more welcoming. And that's what everybody else should do. Don't feel bad and sorry for yourself if you realize that you're not as put together as you think. You should try to step out of your comfort zone and mold yourself into a better version of yourself that you would be proud of. It literally takes a second to just think about who you are, how you treat others, how you treat yourself, you know, how you think of yourself, you know, how you see yourself. It takes a second to either be proud of who you are or to really admit like, hey, like I really need to work on some things. And I know I just said be proud of who you are, but again, this is where self-reflection and being honest with yourself comes in. You shouldn't be proud of yourself that you're a dickhead, cool guy, shutout that's too good for everyone. Like nobody thinks that's cool but you. And yes, you know, live for yourself, but remember, you're interacting with the world around you. And if your presence is making everyone else around you miserable, the problem isn't everyone else. The problem is you, my friend. I don't know you personally. I don't know if you're a bad person. You might not be a terrible person at all. Like I said, share this with someone who this I might actually relate to, but I'm not calling whoever's watching this flawed just to make fun of them or to talk down to them or to have a superiority complex over them. Again, I'm just as flawed as everyone else. But I want whoever this does relate to just set your pride aside, be real with yourself and think, is this me? And do right by yourself and make a change for the better. Grow up and act your age. Be kind to strangers. Don't act like people are meant to serve you, you know, treat them equally. Have empathy. Mind your business. Be respectful. And overall, with all of that, just be better. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and be well.